Hey crypto friends, checking in on the market. So was going to talk about the bull break today that took place last night over 10,000, and then we got our friend Bart coming back with the huge dump. What stands out most is the entire bull move took place on one hour candle. That, as a mindset of a bull, that should not be viewed the same as if that move had taken place over, say, 3 hourly candles. Why? Because we can assume that this was all just one impulse move. We hit 10K, we broke it, shorts covered with, it was pretty much just a bunch of market orders and bots all going at it with zero follow through. You need to see higher lows and higher highs. You need to see bull flags. And the difference between one hour candle and 3 is you know that you have a clear 5-minute slow and steady uptrend if you're seeing that same move spread out over 3 hours. So in the end, we pulled back, we set a higher low, we traded sideways, and then we dumped. Gave it all back, took out supports, and now we have a bounce underway. Crypto traders know that this is the way it goes, and those who are not familiar with crypto look at this and say, I want nothing to do with that market, because you are never going to see Apple or Tesla or any stock or any other instrument that you trade. I won't say any other instrument, but the vast majority of stocks are not going to dump 8% in one 5-minute candle unless it's very significant bad news coming out as a headline. In this instance, no real bad news, just the way the crypto market goes. So we do have a bounce playing out here on Coinbase. We dropped to a lower low with no follow through, which marked the bottom. The Trader Pro alert system, the Super Stack alert, firing off down at the lows, nice oversold bounce. And here's an example of the perfect example of why we made this Trader alert system. And this is Toby, who has been working behind the scenes on it a lot. In and out for a quick bounce in ETH while out shopping. Paid for the month's groceries while in line at the checkout, thanks to the alert system. And someone else, phone blowing up, caught 5% on the bounce. Look at the ETH super stack alerts. Overbought, we consolidate. It ended up being a bull flag, overbought, dump, oversold, bounce. Really good signals. And I just have this image of Toby looking at his phone and clicking some buttons and making money while a bunch of people are around him standing there. And that's a pretty cool thing. So check out the Trader Pro alert system if you want to be alerted when things like this are going on. So in the end, where do we stand? And one of our moderators in the chat room made a good point. The dollar has been seeing weakness. The dollar has dropped. Let's go to DXY. So the dollar has dropped a solid 3% over the last 6 days. And his point was the Bitcoin-Euro pairing rejected from resistance here. And he was saying that he feels that the bull break only occurred because the dollar is so weak. Whereas 6 days ago, the US dollar was 3% higher. So if we're measuring in US dollars, the weaker dollar makes for a stronger Bitcoin comparison. And that makes sense. But bigger picture, we have a bull break with no follow through, and we're now looking for a daily higher low. And anything above 86.32 will be a daily higher low, and we're starting from scratch with our zoom out game. We're now watching 15-minute exponential resistances. Then we'll watch the hourly exponential resistances. We'll need an hourly trend change into tonight for this bounce to get follow through. Then we'll look at the 4-hour exponential resistances, which are there as well. So a lot of work for the bulls to try and recover, and into tonight, we're just looking for an hourly lower high right now, and we will have to hold the low and break to a higher high for the hourly bounce to try and get some follow through. With this move, the dominance chart has set another daily lower high. We had a lower high in the 69s, and now we have, no, not in the 69s, it was in the 67s. We're ignoring that wick. We now have another daily lower high at 66.91. The Bitcoin dominance bulls need to hold 65.71 and break 66.91 to change the daily trend. And altcoin bulls want to see a lower low with a 65.71 bear break. ETH USD, still very strong on the daily, holding daily, 12-period exponential. It was just a wake-up call where we topped out. And that's the top of this move. And now we're looking for a daily higher low compared to 196.65. ETH BTC, daily higher low. Big spike, failed to break resistance. If we were to drop down and break 0.24 from here, it would be a red flag in the short term. You can see all that volatility on that one wick. Weekly time frame, do not lose sight that we are watching for the potential of a weekly lower high to be set in this continued tightening pattern. Inside bar is currently forming this week with a lot of days to go. If it forms as an inside bar, it would have to break bearish next week for us to convincingly say that our weekly lower high has then been set. Litecoin, big push up and topping out, unable to break resistance. 50.96 was the top. We topped out at 50, and now we're looking for a daily higher low compared to 41.76. So essentially we have daily uptrends still intact on a lot of names, but this 1 10-minute period in the crypto space stopping out a lot of bulls, flushing a lot of orders, and derailing all momentum that the bulls had from the previous day. XRP double top at 2137, 2146, and daily support is close by here, 1957, as XRP is clearly the weakest altcoin that we look at. A lot of people are looking for it to potentially be a laggard, or at least they were before this drop, but still weak. BNB looking for a daily higher low, and I would say that anything above 1580 is a higher low. Again, everybody's going to be watching the hourly. Can we change the hourly trend on this bounce to indicate that a temporary bottom has been set? ADA was a lead bull. We're looking at an inside bar bear break with no follow through, so just looking for a healthy daily higher low. Tons of space for the bulls to work with. First hourly oversold conditions after a big bull move. Very significant bounce. It's already testing exponential resistance, and if you're looking at percentage wise and bounce size, it's definitely one of the lead bounce bulls. Link USD, bearish reversal candle on the daily. Anything above, I would use 393 as our last little higher low. So bulls still remaining strong here overall on the daily, but hourly trend has to go back to the bulls. XTZ USD, I actually have a position here. First time I've ever traded XTZ, and I looked at it as a laggard. So I bought here May 28th in the 275 range, and it's a smaller position because I am not comfortable with the liquidity on Coinbase. I haven't been watching it enough to know how liquid it is, so I used a smaller position, and because of that, I'm just letting it ride here. I've got my stop under the 260s and looking to see if the bulls can break 305, which we did, just bad timing because that bull break led right into the bear drop. If I were using a bigger position, I certainly would have taken half profit at this point in time, but still just gonna let it ride out, and we'll see where we go from here. Need that hourly trend change. So bottom line into tomorrow, can the bulls change the hourly trend to see that this move was just 10 minutes of all-out market dump and stop losses being triggered? Or can the bears follow through? Once we top out on this move and set an hourly lower high, if we start to see increasing bear volume, it'll be notable that a leg down is entirely possible. So just when bulls start getting some momentum and seeing the highest price that we've seen in months, Bart shows up. And what do we mean by Bart? We mean his spiky hair, sideways trading after the big pump and the big dump. If you see a big pump and we do not see continuation, and it happens on a very small candle, I should say a very few number of candles, and then we just go sideways, be cautious of this setup. So that's where we stand. Hope you're well, and we will check back in to see if daily higher lows can be established to keep the daily chart in favor of the bulls. Unfortunately, the deer have found a fruit tree they like. You can see they pulled off that branch there, and they're just eating some of these leaves, so I'll probably have to stake up some kind of little fence to give it a 3-foot perimeter. Hopefully they're not too excited about it. Got the grapes going, baby grapes. Tomatillos that went outside a little bit later are doing better than the ones that I designated as the main event. So if you remember the trays I had of microgreens, ate those for a bunch of weeks and then just threw them on top of the compost pile. Those are the sunflowers, those are the peas, and this is the kale and the collards. Also threw some extra tomato plants that I had on top of it. We'll see how it goes. Why not?